glasses on. Anyway, let's get right to it. I play old Minecraft. Specifically, I play beta and alpha. I made the change from modern Minecraft to these versions over 2 years ago, and when I did, it was like I finally realized what was missing from my gameplay experience. Minecraft became satisfying to play again. Now, there are a lot of reasons I prefer the old versions, but I want to clear it up right away. Nostalgia is not one of them. I didn't first play Java Edition until release 1.5. That's 2 years after what I considered to be the last Golden Age version. Version, beta 173. So no, I don't have my childhood tinted glasses on. Anyway, let's get right to it. Here are 5 reasons I personally prefer to play old Minecraft instead of modern. This point boils down to nothing more than I think the modern game is way too complicated with a ton of unnecessary stuff. Lots of one-trick ponies like the Sniffer and nonsensical additions like Armadillo Scutes that only serve to make things more contrived. Seriously, they're just adding stuff to keep the game relevant. If they really thought it was important for wolf armor to exist, then they would make it craftable or make it generate inside of a structure or something. Instead, it was an attention grabbing stunt. Anyways, old Minecraft doesn't have a lot of these vestigial additions to the game. It feels like it had a more clear vision of what the game was supposed to be about when it was being developed, instead of let's just continuously add random junk to the game so people keep talking about it. Big gameplay aspects like building and mining are a lot more satisfying in these versions because of old Minecraft's simplicity. It also really allows your creativity to flourish. Limitations require creative solutions and thinking outside the box to achieve your goals. This is just a normal benefit of having a less complicated game. I've never heard anybody talk about this, so it might just be me, but I like that I can select an established version of the game that doesn't change and just continuously play it. It gives me a sense of stability. In a normal modern world, you might expect to have to update the game every once in a while to get the newest bug fixes or content that the devs have been working on. While it's cool that there's new stuff being added, it's always bothered me because it basically makes my world feel perpetually unfinished. I know inherently that there's stuff that will be in the world that currently isn't, and a lot of the time it makes me hold off on playing until the next update comes out so my game feels more complete. I never want to explore too far because if I generate all the chunks nearby, I'll have to travel even further for new content when it drops. Not to mention that I also have to worry about how the next update will affect my world. Some of the farms I have might become useless, or my redstone contraptions might break. With old Minecraft, you usually stick to the version that you want. You don't need to update your game and all your mods regularly, and this has lended a real sense of consistency to the game that I was really looking for. And because these versions have been out so long, tons of new mods have come out for them as well. There's an entire community of retro modders still making new mods for these old versions of the game. Because of the great modding scene, you can easily customize your world to suit you without worrying about it changing, unless you want it to. I'll admit that this point doesn't have to be limited to Golden Age Minecraft. It could fit for 1.12 or 1.8 or even 1.20 recently, but it's still a reason that I like old Minecraft. Old Minecraft's core gameplay loop, in my opinion, is a lot more balanced and straightforward. It relies on a simple philosophy of upgrading your tools over time. You start with wood, then stone, then you get iron, and finally diamonds. Because of this, you are directly and fairly rewarded for the time you put into the game. The more time you spend in your world, the more resources, builds, transportation networks, and history you'll have. Modern Minecraft's approach to this is almost completely different. Sure, you can have all that stuff too, but the gameplay loop is fundamentally altered from what it used to be. For example, since release 1.9, mending tools are now the top tier. They're different from the old system. That you will never lose them. You have them forever. There's no progressing once you have fully enchanted netherite tools and armor with your mending elytra. You've basically hit a wall here, unlike old Minecraft where your tools aren't permanent. You need to keep mining diamonds to continue to enjoy the convenience diamond tools give you. They also aren't farmable. You can't just sit back and let them be infinitely generated. Ever since 1.14, that's exactly what you can do in modern. Just have the proper farm setup and you can have an unending flow of the best tools generated right at your base. Randomly generated structures also interfere with the progression by making endgame loot extremely accessible with very little effort. The direct correlation of reward with the work you put in is now kind of warped. Shipwrecks in underwater cities generate everywhere, for example. They're usually full of diamonds and other useful things that you normally have to advance towards the normal way. Also, if you ever see an underwater cave from the surface of the ocean, you can just swim down there for easy to find diamonds. There's even little magma blocks that shoot air at you. You won't even drown. On the note of structures, another way modern's progression is different is that it relies on you traveling from one randomly generated structure to the next. This is the abridged version, but you need to unlock the nether, go to another fortress, go to stronghold, beat the boss, get the elytra, etc. It's more similar to an RPG, while old Minecraft isn't like this at all. It's just a sandbox game where you collect resources Glasses on. Anyway, let's get right to it. Here are 5 reasons I personally prefer to play old Minecraft instead of modern. You get to make your own story. That, in my opinion, was a core part of the game that just got left behind. This is a simpler reason. Unless you have some kind of completely optimized max efficiency setup, the modern game takes up a ton of space, uses glasses on. Anyway, let's get right to it. Here's max efficiency setup. The modern game takes up a ton. Glasses on. Anyway, let's get right to it. Here are 5 reasons I personally max efficiency setup. The modern game takes up a ton of space, uses a lot of computer resources, and you just get poor performance in FPS. These days, it's basically a requirement to use sodium or Optifine. I'm sure you've heard all that before, but old Minecraft easily beats modern. Modern at this. It's not a problem. It demands very little resources compared to the modern game, and performance is great. It's really easy to achieve a high FPS with a normal computer instead of needing some kind of top-of-the-line PC setup. This is the last one because it's the least scientific, but the aesthetic of old Minecraft is just unparalleled, man. The look, the feel, it's way more appealing than the dull tones of modern's world. Gen and its pastel textures. I love the rough programmer art, I love the janky lighting system, the brighter colors. The old sounds are way more charming. I play a few different old versions, each with their own vibe. Alpha 1.1.2_01 is a mouthful, has the permanent winter worlds with the bright green grass and lack of smooth lighting. Beta 1.7.3 has the indie feel and fun world generation while still feeling fleshed out. I also enjoy playing mods for old versions like Better Than Adventure, which has its own unique appeal. Ultimately, I don't think saying that I like how retro Minecraft looks and feels is a bad reason to enjoy it.
Hey everybody, it's Mongster.